How many more days? Do you remember asking that? Not once, not twice, like every single day. How many more days until my birthday? How many more days until Christmas? How many more days until summer break? And it never mattered what the answer was. 30 days? Awesome. 23? Even better. 10? Forget about it. Your feet were not touching the ground for the next week. My birthday is in just 9 days at the time I record this. I'll be 38, and I caught myself doing it. I looked at the calendar, saw there were only 9 days left, and immediately got excited. And not because I'm turning 38. Jesus, let's be honest. At this point, birthdays are mostly just a reminder that I need to stretch before I do literally anything. No, I got excited because for the next 9 days, I get to look forward to it. And that hit me. When we were kids, we were always waiting for something. Birthdays, Christmas, summer break, Friday nights, Saturday morning cartoons, that brand new game coming out later in the year, the Scholastic Book Fair, that movie your parents said that you could rent this weekend. Childhood wasn't just built on big moments, it was built on the countdown. And somewhere along the way, I think we stopped appreciating the countdown. Or maybe we just forgot it was all part of the fun. So, let's talk about it. Hey, and welcome to, or welcome back to, the Average Joe Nerdcast. I'm Nate, your resident Average Joe, a lifelong nerd and a guy who's apparently decided that sleep is optional if it means finishing just one more chapter of Dungeon Crawler Carl. My friends, I have absolutely bulldozed my way through that series over the last few weeks. I honestly don't know if I'm reading the books or if the books are reading me at this point, which actually brings me to something I wanted to mention. If you were wondering where last Thursday's Checkpoint Thursday episode disappeared to, well, that's on me. Between falling headfirst into the crawl and putting the finishing touches on something I've been incredibly excited about. Something just had to give. And listen, I'd rather miss just one Thursday than rush something out just to check a box. Because next week, my friends, we officially hit episode 100. And I genuinely still cannot believe that I'm saying that. 100 episodes. That's wild. Seriously, whether you've been here since episode 1 or you just found the show because some idiot on the internet wouldn't stop talking about Halo or the Terminator or Dungeon Crawler Carl. Thank you. You guys have turned this little passion project into something I honestly never imagined. I've got something really special planned for episode 100, and I can't wait to celebrate it with all of you. And while we're talking about things worth looking forward to, I guess it's time to make it official. Nerdoween is right around the corner. Now, we've still got a couple of months before spooky season officially gets here, but the planning has officially begun. That means horror movies, real-life ghost stories, urban legends, and weird history, and all the wonderfully strange rabbit holes that have somehow become one of my absolute favorite traditions every single year. I seriously cannot wait. But we'll get there. Because today's episode is actually about something we've all forgotten how to do. Wait. Now, can I tell you something weird? Time made absolutely no sense when we were kids. Seriously. A week? A week was basically forever. Monday rolled around, and Saturday may as well have been scheduled sometime next year. Every single Monday, the countdown started all over again, and not because anyone was excited for school, let's not get ridiculous here, but because you knew Saturday was coming, and Saturday mornings, that wasn't just Saturday, that was an event. No one expected anything from you just yet. No one was asking you to clean your room or dragging you off to go shopping somewhere. The whole house was asleep, and for about 3 glorious hours, it felt like the whole world belonged to you. And can we talk about something? Why in the world could I not wake up for school? But Saturdays, I was awake before the birds. Monday morning, my mom could have backed a tow truck into my bedroom and I'd have just rolled over. But Saturdays, my eyes popped open at 5:14 like it is time. I never needed an alarm. I didn't need coffee. I didn't need anyone yelling my name from the hallway. Apparently, my body only respected cartoon blocks. But then came the stealth mission. You'd tiptoe through the house like you were Solid Snake. Every floorboard suddenly had something to prove. You knew exactly which one squeaked, and you knew exactly which hallway to avoid, because if mom woke up too early, then the morning changed, and you did not want that attention. You wanted uninterrupted cartoon time. And then the single most dangerous decision any 90s kid made before 8 a.m. the volume of the TV. Every single house had a magic number. No one ever told you what it was, you just instinctively knew. My house was about 8. 9, you're getting brave. 10, you have awakened the Ancient One. From somewhere deep inside the house, like she was summoned through the Force. You just hear it. Turn that TV down! What? How? You were asleep less than a second ago. So there you'd be, cross-legged on the floor, still in your PJs, bowl of cereal balanced way too close to the carpet. Absolutely locked in. And here's the thing, it wasn't just the cartoons either, it was knowing you'd been waiting all week for this. Because if you missed an episode, then you missed it. There was not streaming yet, or YouTube. There wasn't, I'll just catch it tonight. Tonight? No, you won't. Maybe, if you're lucky, you'll catch the rerun in a month or so. And then commercials, which honestly didn't even bother me that much when I was a kid because commercials had a job. They gave you just enough time to refill your bowl of cereal, sprint to the bathroom, maybe grab another Pop-Tart, and haul your ass back into the living room before your show came back on. Because if you miss the first 30 seconds, then you spend the rest of the episode trying to figure out exactly why Batman was suddenly hanging upside down from a blimp. Looking back, I don't think I spent all week waiting for cartoons. I think I spent all week just looking forward to Saturday. And maybe those aren't the same thing. And I think that's exactly what I'm trying to figure out today. And here's something I don't think we've appreciated enough. How unbelievably patient we used to be. And it wasn't because we had a choice, because we didn't. Seriously, we waited on everyone. We waited on our mom, on our dad. We waited on our friends. We waited on that one kid whose parents somehow always made him 30 minutes late to literally everything. You know the one, we had one in every neighborhood. And somehow, none of us had any idea where anyone was. Just think about that for a second. Nowadays, I can see where my wife is. I can track my pizza. I can watch my Amazon package make that left turn onto my road. But back then, people just disappeared for a while. If you wanted to hang out with your friend, you couldn't text him. You had to call. The house. Not him, the house. Because the phone, it belonged to everyone. And every single phone call started exactly the same way. Hello? Hey, is Jesse there? And then came the interrogation. Who's calling? Nate? Nate who? His friend from school? Hold on. Buddy, that hold on, that wasn't 10 seconds. That felt like an eternity. You'd hear the phone hit the counter, and then from somewhere in another zip code, Jesse! Silence. Jesse, phone! And now, you waited. Maybe he answered. Maybe he didn't. Maybe his mom came back and just said, he's outside. Cool. Outside. Where? Kentucky is mostly outside. That does not narrow it down. I'm sorry, but it doesn't. And somehow, that seemed to be enough information. You just hop on your bike, ride around for a little while, and eventually, there he was, like some kind of suburban Bigfoot sighting. Or maybe you got the busy signal. Y'all remember those? Beep, beep, beep. Well, guess someone beat me to him. I guess I'll try again later. And here's the thing, no one got offended. No one immediately thought, wow, he's ignoring me. Because we all understood. Life was just happening. Maybe he was eating dinner, maybe he was outside, maybe his sister was talking to one of her friends. For the next 6 fucking hours. Looking back, it is kind of amazing. An entire generation somehow managed to coordinate our social lives, using almost no information whatsoever. Meet me at the park after lunch. That's it. That was the whole plan. No GPS, no, hey, I'm 5 minutes away, no, send me your location. Just faith. And somehow, it almost always worked. And maybe that's why I remember it so fondly. Not because it was easier, God knows it wasn't, but because every time you found your friends, it kind of felt like you'd actually found them. And can we talk about the single most powerful word in all of childhood? Maybe. That one little word controlled my entire emotional state. Hey, maybe we'll go to Blockbuster tonight. Maybe we'll get pizza. Maybe we'll go swimming after dinner. Maybe we'll stop and get ice cream. That was it. You didn't need a guarantee, you just needed maybe. Dad would get home from work, kick his boots off, sit down for about 45 seconds or so, and someone, probably you, but someone, was absolutely going to ask, Dad, you already know. Can we? And Dad almost never said yes. Not right away, at least. He'd hit you with a maybe. And that was enough. That one word bought him at least another hour of peace and quiet. Because the second he said maybe, your imagination clocked in for work. Maybe we're renting a movie. Maybe we're getting Pizza Hut. Maybe we're going to Walmart. Maybe we're just going for a drive. It didn't matter. Your brain immediately started directing a movie trailer. And here's the thing, sometimes maybe became no. Life happens. Dad had a long day, money was tight, someone had to work tomorrow. Hey, that's just life. But every once in a while, you'd hear the greatest sentence in the entire English language. Go get your shoes. My guys, it was on! Suddenly, the whole house exploded into motion. No one could find their shoes. Somehow, everyone had to pee at exactly the same time. Mom's looking for her purse. Dad's already standing by the door with his keys. Someone forgot their jacket again. Someone's crying because someone else looked at them wrong. And somehow, 20 minutes later, you're finally backing out of the driveway. And honestly, the drive was all a part of the adventure. Street lights starting to come on, the radio playing, windows cracked because Dad refused to turn the air conditioning on until it was at least nuclear outside. Maybe it was Blockbuster, maybe Pizza Hut, maybe the grocery store because Mom just needed one thing. No one in the history of Walmart has ever just needed one thing. But you didn't care because you weren't thinking about errands. You were thinking, well, I'm not home. As a kid, leaving the house automatically meant adventure. Didn't matter if the destination was Toys R Us or the hardware store. You got to go. And that was enough. Looking back, I don't think Blockbuster was ever really the most exciting part. Or hell, even Pizza Hut. Or getting ice cream. It was that tiny little window between hearing maybe and hearing go get your shoes. Because for those couple of hours, literally anything still felt possible. Now, can I ask you something? When did we stop measuring time in sleeps? Because when we were kids, that was the official unit of measurement. How many more sleeps until my birthday? How many more sleeps until Christmas? Somehow, to us, that just made perfect sense. I didn't know what a fiscal quarter was, but I knew I could survive just 5 sleeps. And birthdays, Dude, birthdays didn't last just one day. Birthdays lasted an entire month. The second that calendar flipped over, you became absolutely insufferable. My birthday's this month. Yes, dude, we know. You told us yesterday. Then every single morning, your brain immediately did the math. Okay, 14 more sleeps. Tomorrow, 13. It was like having a tiny accountant living in your head, except instead of taxes, it only specialized in cake. And then the birthday catalog. Dude, you already know. Not because your parents told you to, because you went looking for it. The Toys R Us Big Book, the Sears Wish Book, the J.C. Penney catalog. Whatever landed in your mailbox immediately became required reading. You'd circle things, dog ear pages, make impossible lists. I'd like this, and this, and this. Oh, and this. Dude, you were putting together a Christmas list with the GDP of a small country. And here's the best part, half the fun wasn't getting any of it. Most of the fun was just imagining it. You hadn't even opened the presents yet, and somehow you'd already played with them in your head 100 times. And Christmas was the exact same way, only much, much bigger. The lights went up, the music started, every commercial suddenly turned into a toy commercial, which honestly felt just a little personal. You'd be sitting there minding your own business, watching Batman the Animated Series, and suddenly, boom! Here's 17 things you didn't know you desperately needed this holiday season. And then came Christmas Eve. No one slept. No one. You tried. We really did. But your brain was basically hosting its own New Year's Eve party. Every little sound. Was that Santa? No. That's just Dad getting up and going to the bathroom. Was that Santa? No, that's the dog scratching his ear. That had to be Santa. No, that's your little brother falling out of bed. Again. And eventually you'd fall asleep for what felt like 17 minutes before your eyes suddenly flew open and the very first thought in your head was, can I wake everyone up yet? You know, looking back, I honestly think Christmas Eve was almost better than Christmas morning itself. Not because Christmas morning wasn't amazing, it absolutely was, but Christmas Eve, it still had possibilities. The presents could still be anything. The surprises were still surprises. Everything wonderful was still waiting, just on the other side of just one more sleep. And maybe that's what made it so magical, not the presents or the birthdays, not even Christmas. It was having something so exciting that you could not stop thinking about tomorrow. And that's what's kind of sad. No one asks, how many more sleeps? As an adult, we count bills or meetings, or we count how many hours until Monday. We count our calories, but somewhere we stopped counting down to the fun stuff. And I don't think that happened all at once. I think life just got busy between work, kids, responsibilities, groceries, laundry, trying to remember why you walked into the kitchen. You blink and somehow it's August. But putting this episode together actually reminded me of something. My birthday. It really is in 9 days. Episode 100 is also next week. Nerdoween is just a couple of months away. Our family vacation to Orlando will be here before I know it. The next Dungeon Crawler Carl book? One day. Hopefully before I'm 90. I'm serious, I am impatient as all hell. Seriously. I've got things to look forward to. And maybe that's the part I forgot. Not how to wait, but how to anticipate. Because they're not the same thing. Waiting feels passive, but anticipation, it feels alive. When you were a kid, you didn't wake up every morning thinking, I have to wait 3 more weeks until Christmas. You woke up thinking only 3 more weeks until Christmas. Same calendar, completely different feeling. And maybe that's why time felt so much slower, because we noticed it. Every single day to us mattered. Every day got us one step closer. But nowadays, we skip right over whole months without even realizing it. So maybe the lesson isn't we need to go back. I don't want to be 8 years old again, guys. I kind of like being 38. Well, most days. My knees have filed an official complaint. The lesson might just be give yourself something to count down to. Whether it's a vacation, a concert, that next book you plan on reading, or a camping trip, date night, starting a new hobby, seeing your family. Episode 100 of your favorite podcast. I mean, come on, I had to. Because I think the happiest version of me wasn't the kid opening presents. It was the kid who couldn't wait for tomorrow. And maybe that kid's still in there somewhere. He just needs another countdown. And honestly, I think I'm going to give him one this time. And hey, that's another page in the 90s Kid Guide. So this week's lobby question I have for you is simple. What was your favorite countdown? Saturday mornings? Summer vacations? Christmas? Your birthday? That cherished family vacation? The Scholastic Book Fair? What was the thing you could not stop thinking about? Come tell me over in the lobby on Facebook. And I have a feeling this one's going to unlock a whole lot of good memories. And if you're looking for more conversations just like this, then please come hang out with us over on the Discord too. We've got books, games, movies, rabbit holes, and a community that's grown into something I am incredibly proud of. The links are all down in the show notes. And if you enjoyed today's episode, do me a favor, follow the show wherever you're listening. Leave a rating if your app allows it. And if this episode made you smile, then do me a favor and send it to another 90s kid. Because I have a feeling they're going to remember exactly what you remembered today. As always, a huge shout out to my player 2. Thank you for reminding me that life still gives us plenty of things to look forward to. Even if I occasionally need a podcast episode to notice them. I've been Nate. Stay gold, nerd bold. And if you'll excuse me, I've only got 9 more sleeps. I'll catch you on the next one.
Game over.